Good morning. Thursday morning, December 3rd. I trust that your morning is starting well, that you are sensing the presence and blessing of God today. Welcome, everybody. Jim and Kathy Fuente, good morning. Sally Crocker, welcome. Who else will arrive in our live stream this morning? You know, when I start a few minutes late, that's when the names really pour in. Everybody's kind of in a holding pattern. Barbara Del Rio, good to see you this morning. And so the names just start pouring in. Lori Cares, hey, good to see you this morning. And congratulations on the engagement of your son. That was exciting to see this morning. Wendy Chadwick, Wendy and Jeremy, good morning to you. Stacy Riggle, good morning. Jan Akins, welcome. Welcome, everybody. We'll wait for a couple more names here because I have a very special announcement this morning, a special birth announcement. There's Janisa Bush, good morning. So I'm going to go ahead and start. There'll be names to add on. As you probably have predicted, or maybe not, my special birth announcement this morning I'm so excited about is found in Isaiah chapter 9. Isaiah chapter 9, and beginning with verse 6, says this: "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and of peace there will be no end. On the throne of David and over his kingdom, to establish it and to uphold it with justice and righteousness from this time forth and forevermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts will do this." So, exciting, right? Exciting birth announcement. So in the context of our study, we know that the king Ahaz has failed, and darkness is going to be covering the land, but don't worry, God's still in control. A light has dawned on the horizon, and a child will be born of the king, the kingly line of David, sit on the throne, and he'll restore peace unlike any other king. So a birth announcement, you know, it's got to be one of the most exciting announcements there is. I mean, you think about even a wedding announcement. I think about Lori, you know, your son announcing an engagement. How exciting that is, right? For a dad, I'm not totally excited about my daughter's wedding. It'll be a good day. It'll be a good day. Whenever they get married, I mean, they're not engaged. I'm not making a special announcement there. But, you know, on that day that I give my daughters away, it's going to be great. It's going to be exciting. But at the same time, I'm giving them away. There's going to be sadness associated with that a little bit, right? I'm giving and I think about my father-in-law, you know, giving his beloved daughter, I mean, Martha, best person I know, into the hands of this 21-year-old kid who thinks he knows some things, but reality has so little life experience that he's got a lot to learn, right? So weddings are awesome, but I think succeeding weddings is a birth announcement when you're hopeful that one day that couple is going to enjoy having a baby. And that day is so exciting when that announcement, hey, we're pregnant, just so amazing. But even more so than the announcement of the pregnancy is the arrival of the child. What an amazing day. It's anticipated, you know, you see the child growing in the womb of the mom, and that day is getting closer and closer, and there's all this anticipation, and the mom is like, I am so ready for this child to be born, right? And the day comes, and the child is born. What an exciting thing. So the birth of a child is one of the most exciting announcements that you can make. But turn the clock back to a time where we didn't even know what the sex of the child would be, boy or girl. And in a culture where that would be a really, really important anticipation, how much more it says, to us a child is born, to us a son is given. Now, in that ancient culture, you have to remember that only sons can inherit land. And until a son was born, your entire household was in jeopardy. Your name, your family name, to be able to carry forward and inherit land and keep that land in the family is all kind of insecure until the day that you say, hey, I'm pregnant. Oh, there's lots of anticipation. A child is born. It's a healthy child. More excitement. And it's building until they say, now, and it's a son. A son is born. I mean, our family is secure. Our household is secure. The family name's going to continue, and our land is going to be secure in the family. And what an exciting, this announcement gets better and better. And if that weren't enough, what if a prophet of God said, it's great that a child is born. It's great that this child is a son. But I'm going to up it one step more. This child is going to be a king. The government is going to rest upon his shoulders. And in light of Israel's current condition in Isaiah chapter 9, they're experiencing the darkness in the land because of a failed king. A king in the line of David, yet another king who lets the nation down because he's refusing to trust in God. And in that context, God says a child will be born, he will be a son, and he will grow up to be a king in the line of David. And not just any king, not just another king in the succession. He's going to be the king. He's going to be the king that was promised from the beginning, from Genesis chapter 3, after the fall, when God is promising to Eve, a child, a son will be born of your womb, of your family line, that will ultimately crush the head of Satan. This king, this is the king that Isaiah is announcing in chapter 9. Not only will he be a great king in the line of David, he'll be a king that doesn't disappoint the nation. He will be a king that all nations will draw to. The entire world will experience peace under the rule of this king. And so, what an exciting birth announcement. And the reality is, as we know, we get the privilege of living on this side of the birth of Jesus. We don't anticipate his birth any longer. We don't wonder, will this be the generation that king is born? We have long since enjoyed, from the moment that we placed our faith in Jesus, a relationship with God because of the finished work of that King Jesus on the cross. And what an amazing time of reflection this Advent season is when we celebrate the nativity, the birth of this King. But there is something we still anticipate, right? He says, the government shall be upon his shoulders, and of his kingdom there will be no end. Peace will be ushered in. We haven't seen that part of it yet, that promise fulfilled. We have seen the birth of the Son, the birth of the King. We've seen Jesus. We've placed our faith and hope and trust in him. And now we ourselves take our role, just like every generation that's preceded us, all the way back till the beginning of time, really, anticipating that one who would ultimately crush the head of Satan and usher in a time of glorious peace, and we can be in the presence of God forever. That day is coming. And that's why this birth announcement is so exciting, because just as God announced the birth and it happened, so when Jesus says, I will return again, it will take place. And so we long for it. We look for it. We've seen every single human king fail us. in trying to restore, good, righteous rule, justice, consistent trusting in God, no matter what king on earth there has been. I mean, I think of the great kings of Israel. David, he was a man after God's own heart, failed his people more than once by his flawed humanity. King Solomon, who was arguably the wisest king in all of the world, at the end of his reign, his heart was turned away from God by all of his foreign wives. These are still just men. One day we will serve a king on earth who will sit on an earthly throne, and he will rule with complete righteousness, complete justice, and we will be in his presence. And so what we anticipate now, and what this Advent season, all of December leading up to Christmas, is a restored attention to celebrating the birth of Jesus, but anticipating his promised return. The King is still coming. The King will sit on the throne, and we will be in his presence, and we long for that day, because that longing brings about two realizations. One is the rescue from the current frustrations of this world. The harder life gets, right? We say, Lord, if you want to come today, that would be okay by me. In the hard times, we long for his appearing because we want to be rescued from the difficulties and the trials of this life. But the second reason we long for his appearing is because we are going to be in his presence. We're just going to be in the very presence of God. The amazing relationship that we get to enjoy with God now, and those high points that we've experienced in our life, is just a taste. It's just a small taste of what it's going to be like when we see Jesus face to face. And these are the promises that are ours. And these are the promises that give us hope that we can still put one foot in front of the other today. And no matter how our governments fail us, no matter how our leadership fail us, no matter how I, as a pastor, fail in my attempts to be a righteous, good, wise leader, we're just going to fail. One day we're going to sit in the presence of Jesus, who will never fail us. And I long for that day. It's going to be so exciting. This birth announcement that we celebrate all this month through the Advent season is the taste, the down payment, if you will. The reality of the birth of Christ will be succeeded by the reality of his return one day. Let us long for that day together today. Let us look for it, pray for it, hasten it by telling other people the good news of what we know and the relationship we have with God through Jesus Christ. So that's the encouragement for today. This is Thursday, so I won't see you again till Monday, unless I see you on Sunday morning when we celebrate afresh this Advent season. So be blessed today, praying for you, and we'll see you Sunday or Monday. God bless.